Hey guys, welcome back to my Commander deck opening series. This is Rob from Infinite Combo. Finally, we get to the last deck, Kalemne, Disciple of Iroas, another character from Theros. So we'll be opening this last deck today. Maybe a little recap at the end, but just wanted to thank you once again for watching, and apologize for not having any Magic videos last month. We're kind of short on time, especially with the first half of the month, me recovering from surgery, and money was a little tight, so we didn't really have the ability to buy these decks and get these videos up right away. So now I got them all. Once again, thanks to my favorite card shop, Battlegrounds Games and Hobbies, giving them a shout out. We're going to look into this last deck, and then stay tuned for later this month where Goggin is going to show you his first and probably most deadly commander deck, Sliver Overlord. Something he had me draft him a deck list for, and then he modified it from there, and his modifications were brutal. And it is definitely a deck that none of us like playing against because it's that strong and usually wins every time. It's one of those decks when you're having a bad week and you haven't won a game of Magic in a long time and you really just want to win one game to feel a little better, you just whip out that deck. For Goggin, it's Slivers. And so he's going to show you that later this month. I'm going to show you this commander deck right now, and possibly, if I can get enough games with these decks done by the end of the month, I'm going to try to get a little recap on them. If not, we'll get that out next month. But we're going to try to ramp up the Magic videos, get you a couple a month if we're lucky. We're going for one at least. I want to try to do two because I think we're going to start showing you our Commander decks every month. One deck per month, and then we're going to also do another video on something else with any luck. We'll, of course, do our best to at least get the one, maybe two. So without further ado, let's open this thing up. Kalemne, Disciple of Iroas, or the Wade into Battle deck. Wade into Battle obviously makes me think this is going to be your kind of standard red and white affair where it's just put a bunch of dudes out and attack. Get rid of this packaging here. Got this nice red box. Let's get the oversized out here. And there she is. Kalemne, Disciple of Iroas, in her oversized glory. She's a giant soldier. Plastic. I see the Lightning Rager token again. Once again, I'm going to get rid of these rules inserts. Don't need them. So I think the only two commons in this deck, out of all of the new cards, are Thought Vessel and Command Tower. So that means they're in every deck. After that, they have some uncommons, which are all monocolor, so they end up in every deck of that color, which I believe every color gets two decks. With the enemy colors here we're working with. Sorry, not allied colors. Alright, so we got the Lightning Rager token again, the Experience token again. We got a 1/1 colorless Shapeshifter, 3/1 Elemental Shaman with the Shapeshifter on the back. We got a 2/2 First Strike Knight. Again. Seems to be basically the only tokens there. There's not a lot. So, alright. Got the Oreskos Explorer again. When he enters the battlefield, search your library for up to X planes, where X is the number of players who control more lands than you. It's a really strong white land fetch card. Something you don't see often in white is strong land fetch beyond land tax and tithe, both of which are very strong land fetch cards for white. But it's just not popular in white. It's a big thing for green for mana ramp. White is usually pretty tough there. Alright, so giant spells cost 2 less to cast. It makes me think there's going to be a whole bunch of giants in this deck here. Yep, there we go. Stone Shock Giant. Thundercloud Shaman is a giant shaman. War Chief Giant is a giant warrior. That's your Haste Myriad card. And then we have Herald of the Host, which is Flying Vigilance Myriad. It's an angel. Let's see. Soul Ring, of course. Boros Signet. There's a nice new art on the Boros Signet there. It's pretty good. I didn't really go into depths on the last two Signets, Izzet Signet and Golgari Signet, only because they had new artwork, like a second artwork printed in a card when they had them in dual decks, I think they were. I think it was Izzet versus the Golgari dual deck, and they had alternate art for the Izzet and Golgari Signets. So it's nice that the other three here on the enemy colors are getting new artwork. Unless these are old and I just don't know, and I haven't seen them. But Cold Steel Heart's a nice reprint here. Felwar Stone. Another Lightning Greaves. Again, so happy about this reprint. I needed some. I was definitely out of these, and I just wasn't willing to spend like $8 on a Lightning Greaves, an uncommon that I used to have tons of from, you know, early 2000s. Mindstone, Thought Vessel again. So this deck definitely has a whole bunch of mana ramp, and that's important in red-white because you don't get a lot of mana ramp in red-white. I mean, take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana rocks. And then including the Oreskos Explorer at the front, that's 12. So over 10% of the deck is mana ramp. So I'm guessing that this is kind of a big creatures deck, and I guess the giant tribal would help there. Let's see. Faith Fetters. I'm actually kind of surprised this didn't end up in the Daxos deck, but this is still a great card and a really good reprint, and I like the artwork on this version. We got Rite of the Raging Storm again. Let's see. Crib Swap. This was an interesting reprint. This is the one. This is a 3-mana, exile target creature, and then its controller puts a 1/1 shapeshifter onto the battlefield. I didn't know this card existed, and it's really cool. And I mean, granted, you're playing white, which means you have Path to Exile and Source to Plowshares already, so you're probably not going to run this unless you really need a third effect of that type. But Orm's Thunder, Breath of Daragaz, Meteor Blast again, that's a good card. Random Mountain. All right, here's the lady herself. So Kalemne, Disciple of Iroas. She's a 3/3 with double strike. Whenever you cast a creature spell with converted mana cost 5 or greater, you get an experience counter, and she gets +1/+1 count. She gets a +1/+1 counter for each experience counter you have. So generally, if you're going to be building a deck around her, most of your creatures are going to cost more than her, except for your mana ramp stuff or like super useful utility creatures. So then we have the second new commander, Anya Merciless Angel. She's all right. She gets +3 for each opponent whose life total is less than half of his or her starting life total. And then as long as an opponent's life total is less than half of his or her starting, she's indestructible. But early game, not that great. And plus, she just gets worse as more people die. Gisela, great reprint and great card for this deck. While not a giant, it does cost more than 5 mana. She will benefit from Kalemne's. She will definitely help Kalemne win the game. Inferno Titan and Sun Titan, great shoo-ins here, great reprints. While these cards are so cheap now, you can get Inferno and Sun Titans for under $1, but they're really great cards. So, Angel of Serenity, that was a great reprint. Magus of the Wheel, this was new, and a lot of people thought I'm pretty sure this is new, and I think a lot of people thought there was going to be a cycle, but it ended up just being it. And I was talking about Wheel of Fortune in the Mizzix deck. This is basically Wheel of Fortune, but on a creature. Kalemne's Captain, this was a new one. 5/5 Vigilance Giant Soldier that has Monstrosity 3 that will exile all artifacts and enchantments when made huge. I noticed that a couple of these decks have effects like this, probably because they're meant, these are balanced to play against each other, which means, this is your out against Daxos. Dawnbreaker Reclaimer. I can't remember if this was a reprint. Blade of Selves. This was a topic of a lot of discussion. Corpse Creature has Myriad. And, of course, the big thing is to stick it on stuff with Enter the Battlefield effects. Desolation Giant. This is first time in its new card frame, and I think this is new artwork as well. Let's see. Other giants you control, +2/+2 and trample. Jareth Leonin Titan, that's pretty good. He's a giant. Hamelback Goliath is great. Arbiter of Norridge. Borderland Behemoth. Magma Giant. Loxodon Warhammer. Urza's Incubator. This is a great reprint. This was an expensive card. I think this is its first time in the new card border. I actually do have an original copy. Let's see if we get anything else interesting. Warstorm Surge works good. And, of course, a big creature deck. Disaster Radius. Earthquake. Ancient Amphitheater. Being able to reveal a giant and have it enter untapped. And then we got a bunch of land, it looks like. Basics. Command Tower, of course. So that's that. That's the decks. So which one did you guys like the most? Throw it in the comments section. How would you modify any of these decks? You know, if you have ideas, by all means, we love to talk about Magic. Please get in the comment sections, talk to us. We wanna discuss this stuff with you guys. So get in those comments, fill up the comment sections. We'll respond. We have the time to do it. We're a small channel right now, so we can attempt to try to respond to all of your questions, all of your comments. So that's the whole series. Again, look out later this month for that Commander highlight on Goggins Sliver deck. That'll be coming out soon. We want to hear your feedback about this stuff, so definitely, you know, like, share, subscribe. Get some discussion going. Let's talk. You know, we want to hear from you guys. We want to entertain you, so we want to hear you guys. We want to hear what you guys liked, what you guys didn't like. You know, how long have you been playing Magic? Who do you use for your commander? So let us know in the comments. And finally, just have fun. And we'll be seeing you next time on our next video. And until then, stay infinite.